Welcome to another Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson, and today we're talking about how the Red Raiders fared in the 2020 NFL Draft. Well, first off, I got to say congratulations to all the Texas Tech players interviewed for so long, through the recruiting process and then throughout their careers here at Texas Tech. All of them who are moving on now to, in some cases, pro football, in other cases, the next stage of their lives. I think you got to start off with Jordan Brooks in terms of the 2020 draft. First round pick by the Seattle Seahawks, the 27th overall pick. I've been a fan of Jordan Brooks for years. Just his style, the sideline to sideline type linebacker. It's one of my favorite positions in all of sports to watch, especially when they have the kind of size and talent that Jordan does. And then to do it for Texas Tech and get to see it up close every week was just a lot of fun for me. I've been saying for years I thought he was one of the better players on the roster, perhaps even the best player since Patrick Mahomes in terms of raw talent. And obviously the NFL agrees with him being a first-round pick, the first-round pick for the Red Raiders since Patrick Mahomes. As a matter of fact, to give you an idea what a big deal this was for Texas Tech, specifically on defense, this is the first time Texas Tech defensive player has been drafted in the first round since Gabe Rivera in 1983. So, huge accomplishment for Jordan. According to a Forbes report, he's projected his whole contract, his salary, is expected to be a 4-year deal worth in the neighborhood of over $12 million with a signing bonus around $6.6 million. So that signing bonus would be guaranteed, and it's expected, even if the next season is shortened due to the coronavirus, that all the first round picks, their signing bonus, they're still going to get 100% of it. So it hasn't been confirmed 100, for sure, but that is the expectation, that they're going to get 100% of their signing bonus. So that's obviously life-changing, family-changing contract deal for Jordan. And it's crazy. You think about Jordan's his story with him growing up, certain parts of his life with being homeless, with his family bouncing from friend to friend, family member to family member's household, all the way to, in really not a relatively short order, to becoming a multimillionaire here relatively soon after being drafted in the first round. So, Jordan is a guy who was always talented. He was a 4-year starter for Texas Tech. I remember his first year, his first big game. It was a terrible game for everybody, including myself, who was at the game. It was hot and terrible, but against Arizona State out there, and it was the hottest day ever in Tempe, which is quite an accomplishment, being in the desert. It was very humid. It was a night game, and there was literally steam coming off the ground. Our photographer, Double T Farmer, Stephen Chapman, could vouch for that. All of his photos had like a smog, like the smoke machine had gone off or fireworks had gone off, but it was steam from the humidity and the heat on the field at night. So, but Jordan, he always said, he told me that was a huge eye opener for him, and his progression from that game, which honestly he didn't play terribly compared to like everybody else. He struggled as a true freshman in his first Power 5 game, but his maturation from there all the way to his senior season, where he was paired with Coach Wells. He brought in Coach Keith Patterson as the defensive coordinator, and Jordan told me before the season that he was going to be unleashed on quarterbacks and going to be able to do more things and have more of an effect on the outcome of the games and the defense. And, he did. He had a second-team All-American season, first-team All-Big 12 season. He was a butt kiss, I believe, semifinalist or if not finalist. Jordan did a lot of amazing things individually. He did a lot of things for the team this past season. So he's going to be missed. But, congratulations to Jordan Brooks. That was huge for him, and it was huge for Texas Tech. The other guy who was drafted was Broadrick Washington. So 2 guys on defense for Texas Tech. Go figure, huh? Broadrick Washington, I'm not surprised he was drafted. Another multi-year starter. Him and Jordan together are a big reason why Texas Tech improved against the run. They went from being the worst, like the very worst defense against the run, one of the best, or one of the worst defenses against the run perhaps of all time in college football, to when Broadrick and Jordan started playing a lot and got a little older, to being at least middle of the pack in the country. Now, that may not sound like a big jump to some of you, but man, Red Raider fans know what a difference it was. Now, they continue to struggle in pass defense, but that's a story for another day. Broadrick was the guy normally who was at the point of attack there, holding up one or two blockers to allow Jordan to run free. And Broadrick's a very strong guy, one of my favorite guys in terms of the best soundbite he used to make. The sports information directors, the liaisons between the athletic department and the media, blush because he was so candid in press conferences, but always entertaining. Did the East Texas draw, and just really pleasure to cover for 4 years. I'm a big fan of Broadrick, and his personality is going to play well in NFL locker rooms, in my humble opinion. In the small experience I've had in covering, the Cowboys back in the day and everything, and just how, no BS, tell it like it is, earn your keep. Broadrick was a guy, he didn't miss practice, he could barely get him off the field, no matter how hurt he was, no matter how injured he was, and he did have little injuries that plagued him throughout his career, but he almost never missed any time or even a snap because of his mentality. That's going to play very well in the NFL locker room. So Broadrick Washington being selected by the Ravens with the 170th pick in the 5th round, I love that Jordan's going to the Seahawks and Broadrick's going to the Ravens. I love those two organizations. Who knows how long they'll be at those specific teams, but those are great starts. Those are well-run organizations who have had a lot of success, both in the recent and for quite some time now in the NFL. So I'm excited for them. Now, beyond the draft, there were some guys who signed. There were 3 guys so far who have signed undrafted free agent contracts. Starting the first guy who was announced that he signed with my beloved Dallas Cowboys was Terrence Steele, who played tackle for you for 4 seasons. There's a running theme here. These guys were multi-year starters. And, man, Terrence had I believe, 37 straight game starting streak from his freshman season all the way through up until right before through his junior season. And he got injured in a off-season weight room injury, just a freak thing, and he only missed the first 2 games. When I first heard of the injury, which was way before it went out publicly, the thought was he was going to miss his senior year, but he was able to get back for a lot of reasons. You got to give credit to Texas Tech's strength and medical programs there, and also Terrence Steele, the determination to come back. So he made it back, started the last 10 games at right tackle. He started most of his career at right tackle, but he did play some left tackle as a redshirt freshman. So, look, the Cowboys lost some offensive linemen. I know they drafted a couple, but, who knows? If Terrence, he's a strong dude. He's one of the strongest guys on the team almost the entire time he was at Texas Tech. If he can develop, things go the right way, then maybe he can make the roster. That'd be huge. Man, like I said, from my beloved Cowboys, his tackle, longtime tackle, the other bookend, his teammate Travis Bruffy signed with the Green Bay Packers. So that's pretty exciting. Historic franchises, Cowboys and the Packers, for these offensive linemen. And Travis Bruffy, he's a guy I still think hasn't even gotten close to his potential, because I don't think he ever got as big as he could get. His frame 6'6", 6'7". He came in like 260, 250 or something like that at a high school, because he played baseball. He'd lose a lot of weight and play baseball instead of training year round for football and keeping that weight on. And then he got sick and he got injured a lot. After he had a true freshman season where he played the heavy package tight end. He even caught a touchdown from Patrick Mahomes against Oklahoma State that true freshman season in 2016. And then, he was pretty much the starter at left tackle for the next 3 years when he was healthy. He got that illness right before, I think it was the 2017 season, which he lost. I think he had mono and he lost like 25 pounds or something like that. Travis, then he hurt both his ankles, I think his junior year. Was playing on 2 bad ankles, which is very difficult at left tackle. And then last year, I think he was, for the most part, healthy. So, but I don't think he ever really got as big as he can get. I think he'll get up to Green Bay, and I think if he stays healthy, and he could actually open some eyes. His personality, how smart he is, I'm sure he'll be able to pick up the offense very fast. I think he has a really good shot at making a team too. So I'm really happy for Travis and Terrence, those two offensive linemen who, man, hey, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears playing for the Red Raiders over the last several years, you know. And then finally, Doug Coleman signed an undrafted free agent contract with the Denver Broncos. You know, Doug Coleman got a kind of like Jordan. He was different that he had really big moments during his career, like the 100-yard fumble return against Texas. And then he had times where he didn't play as much because he was so inconsistent. And last year, he was like the guy at safety, replacing Jayshon back there at safety. And just the way the scheme was, he had a lot of opportunities. And Douglas, to his credit, he took advantage of those opportunities. He was amongst the leaders in interceptions in the country and in the Big 12. I don't remember exactly where he finished, but I mean, he was right up there. He was a first-team All Big 12 performer. So, you know, there was a lot left to be desired. I feel like Douglas is another guy who never completely reached his potential. But at the same time, when there were opportunities to come up with turnovers last season, boy, he took full advantage. So, and Douglas, he has an opportunity now to see what he can do for the Broncos. And you know, this may be these guys are signing undrafted free agent contracts, and even, you know, like Broadrick as a 5th-round pick. Even if they don't make it with their first team, if they can get opportunities and just get on somewhere and really show some coaches that they can play, then they have a great opportunity. I mean, you can look around the league. Kerry Hyder, Brandon Jackson, Pete Robertson. There are guys that went on undrafted here recently that went on, and I mean, they've been professional football players for some time. They've made careers. You know, changed their lives. Made 6, sometimes 7 figures playing football in the NFL after being undrafted. So opportunities are there. They can do it, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out because these are good guys. I can't always say that, but these group of guys, I mean, say something bad about them. I mean, just leaders, guys that went through some tough times at Texas Tech, a coaching change, but the effort was there. Like I said, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I think at least most of them are going to stick and going to enjoy at least multi-years in the NFL and really change some things for their family. So I'm really excited for them and happy they get that opportunity. But with that, that's going to do it for this edition. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.